Hey guys, Chaps here, and welcome back to the latest Gears 5 developer stream recap. Operation 4 launched this week, so there's quite a bit covered in this stream. And it was a long one, about 2 hours long. In order to efficiently get through all the highlights, I'll be pretty silent this time. I'll butt in occasionally, but for the most part, I'm just gonna let the clips roll on this one. If you're interested in more of my thoughts, be sure to tune in tomorrow though. I'll be joined by some great community members as we host a stream of our own. Hopefully we'll see you all then, but in the meantime, let's check out this week's stream.
So we've got 6 new characters. So many anticipated getting at least 2 PvE characters. Why did we decide to only have 1? A lot of it was just how far along. We made the decisions around the importance of reprioritizing to get more characters that you want to play into the game, and the beginnings of the work separating the characters versus the classes. And the character that we had, the class that we had the most fully fleshed out was the Paddock class. And by being able to just leave that one alone, and then the team was able to go and focus their attention. I think our PvE players would certainly acknowledge that there was a lot of updates to the PvE, and part of that was in large part to the PvE team being able to focus their attention on that. Now, we do hear you guys about wanting to be able to go and play as Dom in PvE, or the Carmines, or whomever. That is coming. The team is actively going and working on a whole bunch of bugs. A TU is coming. I don't have any dates around that. With the class requirements, where some of these characters, reserve characters that were previously held back to the requirement, not really. We were able to go through, and the arting process and the recording of GUDs and stuff, we had working through towards that, and as soon as we didn't have to have the class, the team was able just to go through and produce a bunch more. So as far as I know, we weren't sitting on any characters that we were waiting going down that path. Ooh, please address the map rotation. Typically when a new operation comes out, we increase the frequency of the new maps because we know people want to play them. So we up the frequency, and we were still hearing comments about people not seeing them as often as they would want. And so we upped the frequency again. And when he was saying that he wasn't really getting onto them, I did a quick check. I looked into it, and we team double checked, and the frequency rate, the odds of which each map comes up, is quite a bit is higher. So that you should be seeing them. I know when I played, I was getting a new map. I think out of the 12 matches that I played, there was only one where one of the voting options wasn't a new map. So I don't know. We hear your frustration around that. It might just be a weird run of bad luck. Because the data is indicating that that the map rotation is in a way where you should be getting exposed to the new maps more often than not. What's going on with the new Horde skill cards? They don't get assigned in game, and they keep saying ready for upgrade. Oh, right, yes. That one is that has been flagged. I need to follow up on that one. Telling you they're ready to upgrade, even though you don't have enough to do the upgrade. So the team is, I think that's just a UI bug, and the team is on it. I don't know what level of priority it is to get it fixed and when it's going to be happening. So I do want to talk about the new Guardian. We're actually going to keep it around for another week, just because we want to make sure we're getting your guys' feedback. We're looking at some of the data around it. Will the grindy achievements receive adjustments? Do you mean like the million one and all that? Right now I don't believe so. Why 100,000 kills in Versus and not just total kills in Gears 5? In the case of achievements, those are a bit more specialized, and we wanted to reward special types of play in that side of the scenario.
I get that achievements are specialized, but 100,000 kills in multiplayer alone seems a bit extreme. I mean, that's what Seriously 2.0 was, 100,000 kills, but we had the Brumach Rodeo for that. Even if someone gets 200 kills a day, that's still 500 days, or about a year and a half of playing daily. I've been primarily a PvP person in Gears 5, and I'm only 6% of the way there after 10 months. Granted, I'm not playing as much as many of you watching, but still, this seems a bit extreme to me.
Can you please have separate customization to COG and Swarm? Ooh, that has been a popular one, and I think just if you look at all the stuff that we're working on with Up 4, or what we worked on with Up 4, and that we have coming for Up 5, it's not something that is on the current roadmap, but it is something that we've fed back. The new rank system. What we've got going on with the ranked is we're doing our ranked preseason. We know that we've seen a bunch of feedback around, specifically on King of the Hill, in terms of people feeling that I finished at the top of the leaderboard and somebody that finished at the bottom of the leaderboard, that there isn't enough reward for people of someone that got, 100 eliminations and someone that only got 50 eliminations, but those people sort of get a similar score. So we're looking at all of that. One of the things that I will say right now in terms of all the feedback we're getting about ranked, which I love, is we want to let it sit for more than 2 days. So as we go through, we really want to go and really need to see what is that replication of an actual season is going to be like, so that as people move up and they move from each tier into or from each rank to the next rank and so on and so forth, the longer they go down that path, the easier it is for us to look at it and go is the trajectory performing the way that we want? Because we have to tune the system so something that works well in silver also needs to work well in masters. We've heard a lot of the feedback on the UI around where the gears points the gears points in the right hand corner. I haven't talked to the team about that. We want to let it sit for a little bit because sometimes when things are just new, the changes what they're responding to don't want to say one way or the other. I actually haven't spoken with the UI team specifically about that concern, but it has been something that has been pinged. Are you going to add the rejoin game option into ranked? I have to find out about that one because that one I remember having a conversation about it, but I don't have the details on that one. But it is an important one that I think, especially if somebody gets disconnected, the rejoin option was something that was a way for people to mitigate the quit penalty that was happening before. Can we get a discount on weapon skin sets that we already have part of the set through previous purchases? No, unfortunately, stuff goes on sale. Prices change. That is a pretty standard aspect with not just video games, but with all sorts of stuff. It was stated that the conversion rate from scrap to gears would be generous when really it wasn't. Can you comment on this? Does TC plan on doing anything to compensate players? That was on me. I made a mistake.
That's nice, he owned up to his mistake, but I still gotta call him out on the issue. To begin with, what kind of studio hides information about devaluing a player's existing currency? Even if he didn't know what we were talking about, even though I feel we were quite explicit in those tweets, the fact that the Coalition would even make this change in the first place is absolutely disgusting. To go further, this is just the latest example of why fans are asking for transparency. We've lost our trust in TC and don't have faith that they'll deliver properly. There's oversights like this, or shifts in the wrong direction, that it would be really nice to catch before it's too late. That's only possible with some level of transparency. Oh, and I'm getting pretty sick of Dana being so out of touch with the fans and not understanding the fans' questions.
Any plans on adding more re-ups? The re-up system is something that we have right now. More re-ups are coming. We're looking at some of the content stuff to make the re-up process a little more valuable. We're not going to change the re-ups that are already in existence, but we recognize this is something that maybe out of the gate we misjudged the importance of the re-up process. As you go forward, you're gonna get some really cool stuff. Have you thought about implementing a main menu song change? I could use the Kate theme in multiplayer. I'll pass that along, newborn. Andius, who you guys were all familiar with as the woman behind the scenes helping make the stream go on and a whole bunch of stuff. A big chunk of her work was actually on customer support, and she was a person that managed that. So TC Sarah, who's just come on board, is taking over Andius's role with on the support side. So she's just getting up to speed. So be nice to her if you see her on the forums. She's going to help out in the forums, make sure we increase our presence there a little bit more. And then in terms of Liam's replacement, we are in the process of trying to find somebody for that one. We think we have a really good candidate, and I don't want to say any more. So there you go. And there is another person who you may see kicking around who also has recently joined us and who is helping out currently behind the computer right now. And so the team is slowly getting back to there, but be gentle. It's a new team. We are still trying to get a lot done. There's not a lot of Gears knowledge. And today we made a change to the game, specifically around the slight buff of the 0.2 second magnetism as you bounce, and then the removal of the health regen. Now, I think generally across the board, people were very, very happy about the magnetism on the wall cancel as a way to kind of add skill back to aiming and such like that. Both of these features honestly went out a little soon. We have a whole tuning planned that we're going to be rolling out on the developer playlist. That more details are probably going to be coming around what we want to do. I'm going to say in a blog mid to late next week. We're going to roll all those out, and then we'll put them in a developer playlist after that, so you guys can see that and start talking about that and feeling how that wants. As we've talked about a bunch before, the weapon tuning is part of it, movement is part of it, how you heal is part of it. It is a really a tangled web that we have to balance out. If you make one change, it impacts us something along those lines. So for us, we really want to go and get everything in there and look at it and get your feedback holistically rather on one thing or a specific thing. So rather than we want to, we started off with the magnetism one. We tested out the idea of the slower slide speed previously before the beginning of this operation. And now we've got a few more things coming and the only reason I'm not giving you the details now is because we're still finalizing some of what that looks like. So once we're going to go down that path, we're going to do that. We've heard some of your frustration. I know I was engaging with a few people on Twitter today around how the health regen on the canceling helps you as an offensive mechanism and specifically as a defensive mechanism. And we hear you guys with that, and your comments are valid. However, we wanted to go and look at all of these features holistically so that when we're testing it, and really this was a case of we wanted your feedback on everything and not just continue to be one thing. We would have taken it out sooner. It just takes, with everything that's going on in the game, that's how fast we were able to get it out. So we hear what you guys are saying, and that's kind of where we are with that. So. And in terms of the PvE question, I think someone asked about PvE, the improved drop rates. Why was this removed? I believe that's a bug. So we're going to look at fixing that. You mentioned that you'll be monitoring Horde balance and making adjustments as necessary. Will changes like perks for engineers be things that would need to wait for Op 5, or could we see something like this sooner? I talked to Michael Shannon today about, not this specifically, but in general, he's like, we're pretty happy with where things are, but we're going to keep monitoring it. We'll have him on in a couple of weeks once you guys have had a better chance to go through and some of the bugs that have shown up or we've resolved, and then we can get him back on and we can talk a little bit more holistically with what's going on inside of that. Have you investigated or are investigating the potential to split difficulties and modifiers into two different sections, such as some previous games? That's not something that we're looking at right now. We're kind of keeping it on the track that we're going on, but never say never.
So that's just a no. To hear my plea for this, check out this other video.
Now that we have a competitive environment for free-for-all, are there chances of allowing parties and quick match free-for-all? I see such potential for griefing inside of that. We can look to see, but I just can see two people running around as a squad, and I feel like that would just be something that would just be unfair to have a team of two versus a team of everyone else. Like, I don't see that being that much fun for anyone. It's cheating, frankly, at that point.
I mean, come on. Judgment did it, right? Ban the people who were reported for doing it, and it will settle down pretty quickly. Not to mention that it's probably boring teaming up with people. People will get tired of it and stop doing it. Oh, and it's quick match. If you see a team doing that, you can just leave. And honestly, for the most part, I'd probably want to stay in and try to kill them and piss them off. But if you don't like it, just leave. I think there's a lot to be gained by letting friends play this mode together. I personally want to play the mode, but it sucks that I can't play with my friends, so I just ignore the mode. In the end, I think my biggest question just comes down to, why could Judgment do it without any glaring issues? Why is it so different now?
The audio issue? Oh, I don't have anything up to on the DTS audio issue. I don't have that one, sorry. I don't have any insight on the various the character observations in terms of the mouth animation. I think that's something that we decided to be okay with, but it might have gotten punted, which just means when you push it out, just because it was something that wasn't a game breaker. Dana, can't you guys just run GP and the old scoring simultaneously? Gears points decide ranks. Traditional scoring just gives context to the actual in-game scoreboard. I'm going to let that sit for right now as part of our preseason testing and as some of the feedback that we're looking at. We've had a few people ask that, and we want to just see if that is something similar to the Gears points on the screen, where is that just because it's new and it just feels different, or if it's something that people are down that way. So we are looking at that. That is one of the things that we're monitoring feedback around, but we just want to, I don't have anything more I can add on that one right now. Will the leveling system be getting any changes? Getting to re-up 30 and 40 is super grindy. Why was re-up 40 achievement? We're looking at the re-up. I don't have anything more I can say around that one. Is there a way to create an on-off option for flashes and shocks in Horde and escape because of one of my friends can't play because she suffers with epilepsy fits? We have changed the flashes now, so they're not nearly as, they don't take up the whole screen. I'd be curious to see if that is something that still happens. Is that an issue? I know for us, I can flag that to our accessibility lead as something that we can look at. Obviously, accessibility is an important thing for us at the studio here. We want to make sure everybody can play Gears. So we can look into that if it's something that she's still experiencing. Okay. I think the kill cam makes some kills look nonsense. I will say this much right now. I wouldn't trust the kill cam. The kill cam is neat and it's fun, but it is not an accurate reflection of everything that has just happened in terms of latency. That's how it looks like you're getting shot around a corner sometimes or what have you. The kill cam is not 100% accurate. The highs for Horde seem to work really well. Are we going to have more throughout the operation? Yeah. We really like the idea of Horde on tile maps. We think they're great. That's an example of where the tiles are really, really helpful for us. So expect to see more tile maps, Horde-based tile maps coming. Team Deathmatch, will that return to ranked? Yeah. Well, no, maybe. TDM, much like Guardian, it wasn't working in the best possible sense. And we went and we wanted to take it out of the ranked playlist to where we can go, and we have some thinking on how we can improve what the experience of TDM is. We're going to go and test those either in the beta playlist, or we're going to test those as a special event, and like what we're doing with Guardian. And depending on the feedback we get, and depending on how it's received, and depending on the population, that's something that we could look at bringing. Right now, as a competitive mode, we know that TDM is something that is very popular. We do, 100%. This isn't like Guardian where it wasn't being played. This is a case where we know it's exceptionally popular. It's one of our most popular playlists. However, we also know that in a competitive rank-based setting, people played differently. People's rank were determined about if you're playing with somebody who was running out and just churning kills, whether because they weren't very good or whether because they just wanted to be a troll and just wanted to burn through kills. And you could go and, if you're staying alive and somebody burns through 6 kills and then you die and all of a sudden you're like, well, that wasn't, like, that ruined my experience, you being an idiot. So we want to go and we want to address a few things like that. Could we please have the UE editor on PC? There's a lot of passionate PC players who would love to make maps for the community. I can ask about that. I honestly don't know. Will you give Karn unique GUDs? I'd have to talk with the team right now. I'm not sure. That could have been something of adding GUDs is conditional upon everything from availability of voice actors, which right now is hard in a COVID world, to maybe they don't work anymore, to a variety of things like that. So I can't speak to specifically the GUDs of Karn. I don't actually know. Can we have an actual combat record, please? We need lifetime stats, not per minute. I can pass that feedback along. Will the Locus ever be added to Horde? I don't know. I mean, there's Locus models that aren't in the game. This is a lot of work, and every work that we do on one thing means there's other work that we can't do.
Come on, people, no. The Locust are not coming. I'm going to stop even including this question when it's asked in the future.
It would be nice to expand boot camp beyond for campaign, but instead of practical. We talked a lot about this, about having an advanced aspect of inside of boot camp to make it so we can teach people things like what is an up A, or so they understand some of those advanced mechanics. And that was something that just literally got scoped out. Any plans to start utilizing the official Gears feedback program again? It hasn't really been used since the beginning of Gears 4. We have what we call our user research team, and they're responsible for going and doing surveys, and they have leveraged the user feedback program, and there is data inside of that we're looking into that, and then we go down that path. So if we wanted to bring it back, we would put it on there, and then people would be able to sign up and add. When can you earn skins by watching the live stream? You know what? I know that that's something we're going to get back to. I think I might do. I don't know if we're going to do skins. Maybe we'll do Gears coins. Maybe we'll do Gears coins as like a reward for watching live stream. Would you guys want to do Gears coins? That'd be fun. What do you think? We could do something with that. Yeah. Can an option be added to the play battle music during matches like it does during boss waves? Ooh, we've talked about that internally as something that would be fun, and I need to confirm that with the team. But I don't know if we can make it scripted, but I think that'd be... A lot of times with the battle music, though, people would turn it off because they want to hear the audio a little bit more, but that's something we could look at. So really, if you've got some questions, Reddit is the best way to go and do it. Chaps does a rad job at breaking them down.
Oh, why thank you. Yes, people, head to Reddit. I'm trying to get a thread up most weeks to collect questions ahead of time. And yeah, that does it for this week's recap. There were quite a few other questions asked, but no real information to come out of it, so I excluded those. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow for our live discussion panel, and feel free to pop some questions in that chat. Drop down below and hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoy these videos. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I will catch you next time.
Obviously, Halo was probably just as frustrated as we were, given that they just launched Master Chief Collection on PS3, so I know that Master Chief Collection with Gears 3 coming to PC